questions. This does bring us to the end of that section for Minister. At this time, I would like to invite the Honorable Minister of Justice and Acting Minister of Education, Culture, Youth and Sport, Lyndon Lewis, to address you. Minister Lewis, you have the floor.
Good morning to the viewing public. Good morning to the press. Good morning to my fellow colleagues. Deputy Prime Minister, good morning. This morning, I would just like to address a few points, and I'll open the floor to the press for questions. However, I can say I just returned from the Netherlands where I dealt with the JVA Overleg. It was a success where the 4 ministers of justices come together to make decisions on budgets within the Kingdom of the Netherlands. I've also had conversations also with BZK, I think it's Foreign Affairs, Interior Kingdom Affairs, with regarding to for experts and also based on how you say, I'm thinking in another language right now, sorry, for us to have expertise and different, how you say based on in English, it's not, yes, extra support to strengthen the justice chain. However, I received such information that we also have the marshalls here drying their dome, spinning their thumbs here, and we're not using them. However, with the rise of crime, I have spoken with Chief John. I am also busy with setting up a driehoek overleg with Chief John, my person, and also the Openbare Ministerie, in order for us to come with the same line of how we're going to combat the crime rate here in St. Maarten. I want to emphasize that the current level of gun violence on the island has my immediate attention. And I would also like to thank the men and women in blue for their hard work and dedication under the circumstances that we are going through at this point in time in our country. To those involved, be aware that you will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. I am not here to make any type of jokes. I asked the chief to do what is necessary. We sat up to yesterday with regards to the planning, with regards to enforcing the law to the full extent, in order even for us to have, based on either from Curaçao, especially for the upcoming elections, support here on the island. The increase of gun violence is not only disturbing, but it's a fabric of our economy and our tourist product. So if you're going to mess with the bread and butter of this nation, we have no choice but to deal with you to the full extent of the law. We had different conversations before on the crime fund. I was supposed to get back to the press with the amount on the crime fund. I come back today as I am not email savvy. There's a lot of emails, influx of emails coming in. So I would publicly say that we had a balance at the time of 8 million guilders. Till today, since I did that research, we have a balance today of 4-point-something million guilders. Okay. I have also received a draft legislation that's aimed at improving the supervision and the management of the crime fund. This initiative, developed by a group of local legislators in collaboration with their colleagues from Curaçao and Aruba, has led to their certification in legislation. Upon my return from the Netherlands, I also met with officials from the prison, customs, immigration department, and will continue these activities during Justice Week. It is unreasonable to expect that the neglect of mismanagement of the 4 years can be resolved in just 1 or 2 months. In saying so, I'm going to be very clear, and I'm going to say it again. We are basically, this government has to face a situation where I've also addressed up to this morning with the Director of Immigration, where I have so much pending residence permits for more than a year. I have dedicated my time. I've been asking to expedite also certain documentation for individuals because it also has to do with the progress of our economy. such as, for example, people that are coming here in the hospital to work, people that are working at the airport for the reconstruction, etc., etc. And also individuals who are, say, from the French side, but have been working on the Dutch side, living on the Dutch side all their life. We cannot send these people anywhere. So to expedite these permits so that the people can have a comfortable living. We also have individuals such as children that needs to be placed in certain schools. Their both parents are documented. And then you're seeing certain documentations are turned down for minors. These type of situations has the attention of the minister. Let's go as forward now as speaking to with regards to the LBAs for the justice workers. When I came in here, this is the first thing that I have dealt with. And I'm going to make it very clear. A lot of people, again, I depend on the civil service to work. My job is to execute. To make it clear, I have over 75. Batch 6 was already signed. When I say signed, I'm talking about the advice. Was signed by my person, did it rounds for the 25 employees, and was also sent up to the governor for him to sign the Landsbesluiten and to be returned to my person to co-sign those documents. Since the 19th of last month, before I left to the Netherlands, I signed that advice. It did it rounds. It is at the governor's cabinet. I learned that the governor is not on the island, and I also asked what's happening with the acting governor. I'm learning that she is not 100. I do not understand what is going on. I do not know what type of games are being played. But till to date, I have not received those 25 Landsbesluiten on batch 6 for signature. However, the employees have already covered batch 7 and 8 for another 50 employees that is also doing its round, that also has to be sent to the governor, and I just have to sit and wait until this is done. My job in getting everything put together to its walking, and I'm also waiting on those things. Now, I do not know if they're employees. I assume that there's alleged employees that are playing with the lives of the people. If an employee thinks that they're doing me something, they're not doing me anything. They are doing the wrongness that they are doing in delaying the process in these decrees. You are disturbing the peace of the justice workers. And I'm going to speak directly to you this morning to stop. Because all allegations are coming that it is the bidding of the former minister who have put her people in place, as you see, and the people that are put in place who are hired under her administration last minute. This minister did not remove any of them. I'm giving everybody the benefit of the doubt to serve their country and not serve the minister. I will go forward in saying I have had discussions on one-on-one with justice employees regarding their personal situations. As minister, I think it's also very imperative to do so, as it is a political function. Politics, what politics I see today is supposed to be is assisting and helping each and every one that comes in contact with you. This is the type of minister that you have. Even though my schedule starts very rough at 9 o'clock, I also ask any individual, just come to the government building at 8 o'clock, before 8 o'clock, to speak to your minister, to have that 5 minutes to see how I can resolve your issues and your problems. So that's basically what I have today. Also regarding to the students on the side of education, on sports, the students that were supposed to go on, I can't remember the name of the airline that just went Fayit, Jet Air. However, requests were sent in. Council of Ministers had come to a decision where the requests were sent in late. However, as Minister of Sport, I am also seeking other avenues on how we can assist the team on getting on a flight to Curacao. And that's it for me today.
Thank you, Minister Lewis, for your opening remarks. Members of the media, as we are running up on time, we will only have one round for Minister Lewis, starting with Bibi Hatshaw of SMN News.
Thank you. I just had to watch her. She's still right there in front of my face. Minister Lewis, taking into consideration the uptick in gun violence recently, have you had any discussion with the prosecutor's office as well as the prison management especially when it comes to UNOPS. There were tons of discussion that the UNOPS were undertaking the reconstruction of the prison. But since you took office, we haven't heard anything. And today we have a situation where prisoners, people that committed certain crimes, are being released because of the lack of jail space. What are you doing about this?
Yes, I did had conversations up to yesterday, like I told you, with the chief of police. I didn't mention I also visited the Point Blanche prison on Sunday. I also visited the Point Blanche prison also yesterday, where I've already had discussions with the management team regarding the capacity of the prison cells. I have also had this conversation as well in the Netherlands. I've also visited a prison in the Netherlands also to see how it is set up. I did get the presentation from UNOPS. And with regards to the capacity, it is what it is. I'm doing assessment based on the crimes that were committed and who should actually be eligible for early release. That I will have that discussion during this week, as I was also advised by the chief of police day before yesterday for us to have that discussion with the prosecutor himself and my person. That, like I just mentioned in the press briefing, that we can all be on one line moving forward.
Just to follow up, are you considering the utilization of the ankle bracelets with early release?
Well, based on certain recommendations or requests that we also have gotten from other clients, and I say clients, which means the inmates, for early release or ankle bracelets, I am also considering that.
Thank you, Minister. Judy, you have the floor.
Thank you so much. Minister, can you kindly give us an update on the status of the expansion of the prison facility? Because I believe that is also...
Yes, it's as minister, it can be sometimes very frustrating in the sense where I'm full of energy, okay? And a lot of people might feel that I am pressuring them, but we have no time. UNOP's project is to commence in January 2025. There are continuous discussions. There are monies available, such as 2 million guilders was also available. And having discussions in the Netherlands, they say, listen, Minister, your people are moving slow, and there are also people that are hindrance to the process. And sooner or later, we will tell you we want back our money if nothing is being done, and eventually that the UNOPS program can also be cancelled.
I'm sure you won't let that happen.
No, I won't.
And, so I didn't finish my question, so I will continue. You did indicate that you were engaged in discussions with the chief inspector regarding how to move forward with this very troubling and worrying gun crime violence situation. In the interim, I know that there have been several proposals that were made to the ministry, some of them from some members of parliament regarding pilot programs, legal help desk, community programs, and so forth. Are these things that you are also looking into?
Yes. Yes, and saying so, I can just give you a highlight. And not Chief Inspector, but Chief Commissioner John.
My apologies.
Chief Commissioner John and I sat, and we're, of course, I have the same background as him. He's more experienced than I am. And basically, we sat with the Stratenkist van St. Maarten, the setup of St. Maarten, and where all the concentrated violence and gun crimes, so not only gun crimes, but other armed robberies, violence with a knife, etc., has taken place, where we're going to concentrate on having a special and having team that will be concentrated in those areas. I also decided that we're going to do a multidisciplinary team. So not only that, because we have a gebrek aan personnel, we have a shortage on personnel. So of course I suggested that we sit with the commander of the Kamar, of the Koninklijke Marechaussees, also with the customs, also with immigration, that we also on the same line with who have what type of authority, so that we can see that the people of this country can see vigilance is in a place. I ask that we work more proactive than reactive. This is something that should have been done before, but however, it was not done. We have the motivation within the organization. My job is to keep the motivation high, and exactly that is why I'm commending my officers for a job well done from all aspects, from the prison, from customs, from immigration, from the police. They're doing a tremendous job. I've also had the the privilege to also speak to the management of the Coast Guard as well, which I also requested that we have more, we have more alert on the waters, that the people of this country can see, listen, our people are out here doing our utmost best and working for the country.
Thank you, Minister. Emily, you have the floor.
Good morning. We've seen that there's a hurricane that passed through the Caribbean early, very strong hurricane. It is the responsibility of Minister of Justice, I believe, to set the guidelines for campaigning in terms of billboard placements,
Yes.
etc. We've already started to see those materials
Yes.
go up on the roads. What is your approach to ensuring that those campaign materials don't become hazardous in an active hurricane season? And do you have a campaign guideline policy out already?
Well, basically, there is a guideline that is already out, if I'm not mistaken. I already signed it and sent it out. It's supposed to be published, also under the preview of the Council of Ministers. In case of a hurricane situation, everyone already knows that within 2 days prior or short after notice of the hurricane watch, everything is supposed to be removed.
Thank you, Minister Lewis. Thank you, members of the media. That brings us to the end of the question and answer session for Minister Lewis. Judy, you indicated you have a follow-up for Minister, which I will allow after the Deputy Prime Minister has gone. Thank you, Minister Lewis.
You're welcome.
I would now like to invite our Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Public Housing, Spatial Planning, Environment and Infrastructure, Patrice Gums Jr., to address you. Deputy Prime Minister Gums, you